Deeply Awake, Channeling by Kathy Vick, Ripening and Harvest, February 16, 2015. Websites, kathyvick.com. Lightworkers.org, Magartha. Deeply Awake at Tumblr. Awake Within You Now is a song that has been unsung, composed, in time, tens of thousands of years old, etched into your soul's heart. This song, music, now becoming clear, in the air, in your blood, on the curl of your lips, and in the fingertips now typing this first channeling in the thick of ascension. We tell you of grand awakenings and shifts. In our absence here on the page with you, the quickening has begun. It is time once again to engage in instruction, dear readers. The channel has heard us whisper harvest to her many times, this morning. Harvest time. There is a metaphor which is apt and true, that of the farmer. Our first transmission to the channel in story form was of two farmers, one who planted and tended in joy, one in misery and oppression. It was an enchanting story, and the first of many analogies. It has been said that these years you now live through, the generation of massive shift, each of you the changelings, that in this time there is much planting, much tending, and much waiting. We tell you that this is true, but there is more truth than this available about these fields in which you toil. You see, there have been those on the earth always ready, forever ripe, and yet, consider them in a membrane which made it impossible to embrace or interact, not fully. All of you who are wide awake now had such a membrane, and many can recount watching it grow thinner and thinner as the energy shifted on this planet these last years. And so, the fully formed, ripe ones are now able to function more fully, and we must now reiterate what other channels have said. The matrix, grid, frequency, vibration, tone, pitch, electrochemical, biomagnetic wash you are currently experiencing as a creature has changed, quite dramatically. Years from now, when ways of measuring what indeed has been occurring finally exist, you will find a way to measure what happened, what has occurred, and the data will astound you. To be sure, what is occurring to and for all. Let us remind you these changes, much of the energy, is held in the grid, available to all, and it is an entity's readiness and innate willingness which allows access and progression. But, it will come to be known that a change occurred, and so, we tell you that to say this is not a physical event, and some are unaffected, would be untrue. Pure poppycock. Everyone is experiencing it. Some more than others, that is all. And so, all, solidly, no one knew that this time would be one of changing of the worlds, shifting frequency, ascension. And there are those who are well versed in such matters, the ripe ones, the ripening ones, and those who are not as adept in the mechanics of such things. It has nothing to do with spiritual worthiness or goodness, mind you, but experience, ability, proclivity, natural bent, one's akash. This must be stated now, at the start of things, repeatedly, for the lower agreement fields like to stick onlookers with fear, when, truly, at a time of ascension, there are simply waves of light, waves of consciousness, and all take their turn as their soul desires, making ascension a part of it as their interests and abilities allow, as their free will governs. To say one person's development or soul signature is better or worse because of experiential differences, proclivities, we tell you this is the lower agreement field at work. The seeds are being planted, certainly, for wave upon wave of light, but we are concerned now with the awakening, this seedling thinking, the ripe ones, how this all works, yes? Consider the dancing clips some of you have seen on YouTube, people dressed in granny garb, white wigs and dumpy sweaters, and yet, once the music begins to play, the beat thumping, the horns drilling, onlookers laugh and clap, when they see that those wearing the clothes are lithe, humorous dancers, who then make the old lady, the old man, their inhabiting shimmy and shake, enticing as a youth, the life force pumping through them and making their bodies move in joy and abandon. We tell you that appearances are meaningless, but wish to extend that well beyond the visages you might judge, as old or young, happy or angry. Consider instead that nothing is as it appears. This would be more accurate. There are many ripe and old souls now waking up, giants who are now still actively learning, learning in these hours how to bend, how to speak softly, how to laugh and dance. No one alive now is unaware of their presence. They are everywhere, really, and this is the point. We wish for you to understand something in order to break the little thinking which is, at times, still clogging transmission and understanding. Consider the reality that your physical life has a basis in quantum reality. It is a quantum reality, and you are quantum beings. What this means, in essence, is that your very consciousness is the translator, the creator of your experience, and physically impacts, that which it observes, holds awareness for. That which is observed is changed by the observer. Do you understand the potency of this statement? The power of one human's consciousness actually changes the way matter behaves. It implies that your consciousness is fractal. Unique, vibrant and alive individually, self-determined and free-willed, and yet, one expression of a part of the whole, integral to the validity and cohesion of the all. You, then, an expression of one being, one reality, entirely inclusive, and ever expanding, and wholly changing, the basis, it seems, of reality itself. As such, you exist in a state of quantum entanglement. Fully quantum, you can project your physical being through light to any point in the multiverse. However, at this point, suffice it to say, one's consciousness, awareness, focus, reality, can, in real time, travel to all points, in this now, all free to access and enjoy as you are able, ready and interested. Consider this fully, however. Consider that the universe is teeming with life, and you are currently unaware of it because your vehicles lack the ability to perceive it, and your consciousness has not yet developed the tools with which you can prove these outlandish thoughts to yourself. Would it not then follow that it is quite possible some individuals have puzzled this out for themselves, and have begun to play with these notions in their physical lives? Call them shaman, ancients, switched on, hippies, meditators, call them masters, enlightened ones, weirdos, crazies. Call them ascensionists, holy ones, tapped in, friends. But can you not see that there are those among you having these thoughts, without the machine which will vindicate, without the culture to encourage, until now, dear ones? Until now. Ripe fruit tastes best. How marvelous the unveiling of this new delight occurs as a peculiar taste for this fruit begins to press upon your fellow travelers' hearts. Can you not appreciate that these fundamental shifts come down to these simple changes? These ripened ones, they stand beside you now at the grocery store, and they come to you now as client, as child, as distant relative, as lover. The ones ready to shed their membranes, and those who already have, they are in every socio-economic stratus. They are in positions high and low. They are young, they are old. They have struggled as many have not, in ways that will forever be unexplained, and they understand that which their fellow travelers have not. Understand, this shift will continue, dear farmers, dear ascensionists, dear tender-hearted human angels. Understand that it is now in this time of shift that your depth, and the things which set you apart, these are the functions which, now, are no longer scary to your fellow travelers. The very reality in which everyone rides is more friendly to this lighter, broader agreement field. And yet, it is difficult for many to negotiate. Be not surprised as people find their way to you, open to you in ways you did not expect. Expect, without vigilance, without trying, observe how your daily interactions have eased, note the happy endings many highly charged situations have, then, in this now, while still in process and with each conclusion, each interaction that which you make it, but, we are insistent to ask you to pay attention. Are you, in your interactions, intending peace? Humor? Accord? We are aware your focus can contain not only that which you actively, physically engage in, but many other foci, are now being held. That which required coaching, cue cards, weeks to integrate, and much isolation, can now be held as your daily practice. As you see fit, day to day. We add information here which is important to include, bridging these notions, to presentations, truly, a weaving and balancing now may occur. And we continue. There are some simple techniques which may assist with mindfulness. We encourage those techniques which do not require props, but, in this case, the props are essential. We suggest you carry small note paper with you, a special pen as well, ceremonial in its having come to you. Pick a good one you like, we say. And have some of these pads in the house as well. Now, we remind you, have reminded many of the channel's associates, who are having varying degrees of discomfort with this new energy. These notepads are to be used to jot down when something good happens. Something noteworthy. We are asking you to scan daily, hourly, you see, for things that are working better than you thought, or when something pleasing occurs, but, and this is important, pay special attention to those things which worked out better than you anticipated. We tell you that many do, daily, and the frequency with which they do is amplifying. We ask that you take note of these events when they take place, and write a very simple note about it. Place these notes in a large jar. When you need to, dump them out and read through them. This act alone is an empowering one. Doing it several times will only bring more happiness, so we advocate reading the lot of them whenever you feel it would help. It has been said that the only law in effect is that of benevolence. It has been said this is the time of unexpected benevolent outcomes. It has been said that humanity's essence is that of benevolence and love itself. We confirm these sentiments, of course, because of the universality of these thoughts. The grids you function within are half-sweetened. Not all are aware of this, not all are themselves responding by becoming sweeter. This is so. Each have their interpretation of the new winds blowing through them, each of those who walk upon Gaia. There are ones, however, who understand these great truths, and walk with them on their tongue, every day, those who have explored within and found that, upon re-entry, there are others, who have done the same, and the conclusions reached ring with similarities and coherence and alignment. And they understand it is now their responsibility to continue, as they are, among their contemporaries, to assist. They have accepted their role, and are grateful their work is being accepted. The ones with the abilities are now available, and the ones with interest are now feeling freer to ask questions. Cooperatively, information is exchanged, but we tell you now, this has less to do with intellectual conversations and more to do with living in the moment. We tell you it is in how you handle each situation that the balance is struck, and many have discovered this awareness. Each moment you are engaging in assigning meaning and significance to the moment. In each moment you are invited to see and feel joy, your natural state, or any number of other states, as you prefer. To judge your awareness is not a hollow pursuit, for we tell you many are now questioning their inner meaning, their inner reason for existence, and they are finding an impetus toward joy, a natural buoyancy, and are making choices which reflect their desire to feel more of the state. To tell you that your emotional state is dependent upon your thinking, and your thinking creates your expectations, which must be in line with your chosen beliefs, it is an explanation of the building blocks of reality construction. It is important to review. We move beyond these simple thoughts to explain more about reality construction as it can be done now, as the energy is more plastic, but we wish to leave you with more information about the ascension now well underway. Many of you are so clever, that discovering your abilities blind has become a forte. We invite you now, as we have forever, to imagine your problems solved. This allows answers to come to the mind which might be locked in thinking, which focuses on problems, difficulties, challenges, troubles. We encourage you to notice the circular, imprisoning nature of some realities, of some problems you may still be experiencing in your realities, and to then review these agreements. We remind you this feeling, of being caught in an unsolvable problem, unending in nature, is it not clear? Such situations are of karma. No karma when you run into it, and know that your active participation in it is only for the assistance of those still in it. It is not yours unless you choose to take it on. We tell you now is not a time you must do such things, and ask that those being invited to engage in another's karma to think wisely, and change behavior accordingly. Many still unaware the energy has shifted are in their karmic lessons still, and we remind you that karma is entirely optional, as all ripened ones are now well aware, a foundation for their healed relations with family, For instance, the community has been admonished to find peace with family, the closest, most painful attachments for many. With karma released, all is new, and there are finally choices. The unsolvable suddenly is solved, expression is enhanced, and there is peace. The channel has witnessed this with her family, they have all been participants in this healing, and the channel is one of hundreds of thousands, one in this family of 7 billion entities. Karma. It is a choice. One which, for many, still feels quite pleasurable, as it is comforting, the behavior predictable, the pain assured, the futility a thread weaving most karmic situations together. Many are finishing up, some will never relinquish, as it is not their time to learn of other ways. But, we tell you, the time has passed for your cooperative engagement in situations which do not have their basis in joy, expansion, creativity, wellness, openness, authenticity, humor, gentle kindness and cooperation. You, as a master, have a choice in all things. Choose your endeavors wisely, we say. We tell you these things because, as an entangled being, coherence is vital to your well-being. Coherence, as we have explained, is the foundation for the new sciences, the cornerstone of a new world. Coherence, mind, body, soul, heart. We tell you that breaking up your experience in such a way is proper and understandable, because it is wise to properly label and categorize experience, but it is the gestalt we are more invested in, the soul from which the splits take place, the facets of a jewel so beautiful it is beyond our description. Let all have their troubles, you included, and we tell you now that all suffering is meaningful and helpful as long as it is seen as a tool, as fuel, as propellant, as transitory and a short-lived gift to assist in change and growth. We do know that many suffer in mind, and many in spirit, and this is then why it is so vital, now, to have the old ones, the ones with gray hair, woolen slacks and sweaters, get up and shake their hips, cock their heads and smile and sing along, surprising onlookers with their vitality, and their greater knowledge, greater than the ones looking on but distracted by worry and fear and regret, or any number of feeling states which remove the onlooker from the old ones. Relax now, shake in it, laughing, they are dancing, now, and lightening up everyone's load. The cell phones go down, clapping, smiling, laughing. Just 4 minutes. Just a silly little video, or an afternoon stare, did you see? We have shown the channel countless times, and demonstrated to her repeatedly that there truly is nothing to fear. That benevolence is the order of the day. She has not believed us because she has chosen to dwell in chaos and karma, and for this we give her great love and affection, as she has been healed in this ongoing breathtaking endeavor. We tell all who listen now that time is well past for believing in the nonsense that things do not work out well for all of you. Do you hear that? Can you come to know this? We assure you, we remind, nothing is as it seems. It is time to trust your companions, those whose business is you, those opening inner doors in hearts you do not recognize in the flesh. Do you not understand that you have, truly we say, you have never been safer? We take a moment to remind you how this is. Do you remember the hopelessness related to knowledge that no matter what you did, things worked out poorly, in some areas? There is not an old one, or young one, without such an experience. For those adept at manifestation, we must counsel you, as this can be difficult to understand, and there are some channels whose work, though empowering, leave out vast fields of data which must be added to this construct, so that the being feels nothing but pride in their skills of manifestation. Let it be said plainly, each manifests the reality in each moment. To think that one becomes a manifester is patently false, and quite damaging to the psyche. Luckily, it becomes a thought harder and harder to hold, as it is patently false, but let us explain. What you are aware of in this moment, what you are doing, did today, plan to do after this transmission, the people you anticipate encountering, the places you are going to walk, food you will ingest, and how you will put yourself to sleep this evening, all of these things are your manifestation. Your creation. A culmination of all the choices and situations you have already encountered. However, we wish to caution you to a subtlety which is becoming magnified, as the shift amplifies certain constructs. One of the core understandings around this shift is there is a shift from focusing primarily linearly, to focusing in a more multidimensional way. Meaning, although time is necessary in this construct, it becomes less applicable, as life begins to be led less from a causal expectation, to a participatory construct. Further explaining, the past is no longer an indicator of the future. What once was is gone, and not one of you is beholden to it. Do you understand? Each day discrete. Each choice yours, your direction yours, your personality, able to change, your life, able to take on more significance, meaning, and depth. Is it not unusual to you that in these last days, and we do say this is new, have you not felt physically different? Have you not felt a change? Have you kept up with how the heavens are supporting you? Oh, the pattern's so rich with assistance. Have you been visited yet? We are telling you now that help is here, and it is so nearly physical, and we smile, knowing now that those who are visited will understand there are many definitions for physical. Those who can sense or feeling the presence of help, and we tell you all are riding with this help, the help is here, for you, now. However, you must, of course, believe it, or at least be willing to ask for it to make its presence known, prove itself, one way or the other. We tell you it is a good and wise practice to ask, in quiet, to know proof you are not alone. Do you know it is in a skeptic's bitter mouth that we make our presence known? A skeptic is tasting, you see. Disapproving, displeased, perhaps, but tasting, nonetheless. In quiet, in the bathroom, in your car, ask, demand, but question, am I alone? Am I loved? Is there something else here with me? Does this something love me? Ask if you are loved. Ask if you are seen, known, by God, by angels, by Source. Sit quiet, and listen. And, you will know, it will come to you, allow its greeting. Of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are. And understand that the love that is given so that the one requesting it can understand it. We do not overwhelm without permission. We have come to the channel as light, as healing thoughts, as sleep, as voices. We soothe, we protect, we guide, and we are here, quiet. We never stop. Each have their own willingness to feel us or not, gain strength from us or not, heal with us or not. We wish to tell you of the ascension, and then to close. Harmonics are such that awareness upon them assists their potency. One might ascribe this to voodoo, to groupthink, but again we say, this is a version of truth, but a narrow one. The truth may well be larger than that. Consider that there are celestial triggers, as we have repeatedly said, and these triggers are available to those who are aware of them, and to those who aren't, as well. Awareness of the significance of an event makes the event more meaningful, does it not? Imagine you have lived as an Aboriginal, and haven't the foggiest about American life. If you were to attend a ritual in a church, and you had not been told that a white gown, a gathering of people dressed formally, and a holy man telling two lovers how to proceed, had you not been told the significance of the ritual, you would not have the richness of the experience the mother of the bride perhaps experiences this fine day. Do you see that awareness of a thing's meaning, its definition, can alter your experience? Yes. And so, these triggers are available for all. It is true that there is an event occurring quite soon that some will ride to a higher awareness. We tell you of the coming vernal equinox, and ask you begin asking yourselves what meaning this has for you, if any. We suggest that there are events occurring around this time which will act as potent human star activations, and as such will propel those who wish to proceed. There have been other such events here on Earth, but nothing this potent, nothing this cooperative and sacred, we tell you now. Ripe ones have begun to understand, and many are understanding that plans made now for a time beyond this equinox are subject to grand change, and much is yet unwritten about the time to come. We encourage you conclude business up to this time in advance, and to leave your calendars open after this time. And to be open to change. We tell you there is always a ratcheting up of energies prior to such an event, And so, rest in the arms of our guidance and assistance, as you wish. We are here for you, each of you, and although it is true this voice is personalized, individualized and focused, for all who call upon it, that which animates it is always available to all. And with this sentiment, we remind you that, if indeed you ride around in such an amazing biological reality, connected to a universe teeming with life, can it be said that Jesus, sweet brother Joshua, saved the world from sin? Did you see the dilemma that some face now, and that the world will face as a whole when equipment is available to prove these postulates? How can one, entangled with home planets and worlds apart, feel any avatar has all the answers? We ask you to not think so small, and to become aware of the power in your consciousness, the responsibility such power implies you already possess, and then walk lightly, gladly, on this earth, hiking up your skirt and kicking off your heels, or peeling off your tie and ruffling up your hair. We ask, we pray, dance a little. Hum. Lighten up. This is to be a joyous walk, and being gloomy, hooking into karmic cones without solution, believing lies about your lack of worth and the enormity of your burdens, these things are for another time, a darker and harder time, one without so much light, and without the joy which is indeed creating you in this now moment. Remember, remember, remember. We leave you this day in trust and love. We are learning from you, as you learn from us. Do not doubt this as a reality.